Even though we all put our boots on 1 foot at a time, we're not the same. Each of us have our own strengths and weaknesses that make up a part of who we are. The outside world tries to give us a title, and they base it on a diagnosis. No matter what our hunters can and can't do, their disabilities don't define them. But when we're all together, we have one thing in common. We are hunters.
I'm Haley Grainer. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a hunter.
I'm DJ Randolph. I'm 55 years old, and I'm a hunter.
My name is Palmer. I'm 11 years old, and I am a hunter.
My name is Aaron Escobel. I'm 33, and I'm a hunter.
I'm Wyatt Roman. I'm 15, and I'm a hunter.
My name is Drew Hansen. I'm 33 years old, and I am a hunter.
My name is Ben Johnson. I'm 29, and I am a hunter.
This year we had the opportunity to hunt in a little piece of paradise down in the Killdeer Mountains. The landowner kind of hyped it up, and to be honest, DJ and I were a little skeptical at first.
The ranch in Killdeer was very much a blessing. When we got down there to scout it, it was better than we could have ever imagined it to be. Every woodlot, every field had deer coming out of it in the evening.
We went down and scouted the property, and there were more deer there than I'd ever seen in my entire life. This being Haley's first year ever hunting, I thought it would be super exciting for me to be in the blind with her because I wanted to film everything.
So we got in the blind, and then Aaron asked me if I wanted to look out the window on like the left side or the right side. And then he said, like, most of the deer were supposed to come out like the left window, so that's where I chose to sit.
The difficult part of hunting in a ground blind, especially when a wheelchair is involved, is choosing which direction to be looking and getting all of the gear set up. In this case, we had a deer trail on the back side of the blind and on the front side of the blind. And we had to make the choice beforehand, which direction are we going to look? Well, wouldn't you know it, about a half hour into sitting, we not only had our first couple deer, we had a beautiful shooter buck behind us.
We look out the other window and there's this huge deer with a huge rack. It was huge. It was so big. We have to like kind of twist the wheelchair and do it quietly and like kind of slowly so the deer doesn't hear us.
The buck came in the opposite direction that we were looking. And so we had to figure out how best to turn the entire wheelchair, get the tripod for the camera, get the bipod for the crossbow, and get the crossbow looking in the other direction. And so because I think this is so important for you guys to see, we're going to play that video in its entirety.
face to your left and not the one in front of you. See? What? Shh. That big one's at 40. If he comes over here, can we turn her? Okay, if you can see him. Yeah. See him? Yeah. Take your shot if you got it. Right there, shot if you got it. Third one from the bottom.
Without the wheelchair, like, it probably, we could have had, like, an easier time, like, getting to the deer. But the wheelchair just added a little bit of spice to the hunt and made it, like, a little more exciting.
It's giant. How exciting was that, Haley? Yeah, that was so awesome. Oh, I cannot believe that. Like, we were able to find it in your sight. We didn't deserve to get that shot because of how many times we had to mess around. But the fact that there's deer running behind us.
So I didn't end up getting, like, a chance to, like, really, like, aim at the big deer, but it was really fun and exciting. So then we stayed, like, looking out that window, and then I think it was probably like half hour after that big one came, then the deer that I actually shot, he came out.
That's a little buck. That back one's a little buck. He's a shooter. He's coming right at us. He's coming from that hill up there. Higher. Higher? Yeah. You got it. Oh, they're gonna fight. Okay, these other deer are running towards us. There's a little buck right beside us. He's gonna come at 20 yards. Get ready. Haley, get the safety off. He's gonna be at 20 yards. Get ready. He's coming right here.
He was kind of playing games with us, I think. And then I had to kind of wait until he would, like, turn the right way.
Left side, the left side. No, not this one, not this one. See him, Haley? Can you find him? Find him in the scope if you can. Okay, just go there. Okay, Haley, you gotta get to the other side. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Right there, right there. Can you get it? Okay, just wait. Can you see it? Okay, here he comes. Matt. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Oh my God. I just shot the deer.
You got it, bud. You okay?
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Yo, buddy. It's all right. It's all right. I know.
Haley. Oh my God, he's beautiful, Haley.
Look at that.
I remember like wanting to cry almost because I shot a deer and I killed it, which at the time it was so sad because I killed it and I felt so bad. And then my dad, he was like, "Good job, you did it, like you got it." And then I didn't end up crying, but I was close. I was real close.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Just as much as Prairie Grit is about hunting, it's about families and enjoying experiences together. The next morning, we decided to have an old-fashioned camp-style breakfast, and we cooked for like all 20 of us.
So before my hunt, we had some time, so we got out the track chairs, and I got to explore where we were hunting.
The family time was a great rest from the late night we had before, but when it all came down to it, we had one more hunt to go.
First night when we were down at the Killdeer Ranch, Haley and Palmer both tagged out. That left Wyatt as a hunter to fill his tag, so we decided to stay another evening, see if we could get his tag filled. We saw a lot of deer. A lot of deer came out that evening, but they were nervous about the blind. They wouldn't quite come within range. We had a couple of bucks that we thought were going to commit enough for us to get a shot, and they just didn't quite come in and give us the shot that we were looking for.
When we set up the second night in Killdeer with Wyatt, we were pretty optimistic. But as the night moved on, we had a couple things work against us that we just couldn't quite get past.
We saw one nice deer. We waited for quite a while, and it just wouldn't come in for the shot.
We didn't get to fill Wyatt's tag in Killdeer, but that meant we got to come back home and hunt locally. And we actually ended up going back to the very blind that Wyatt killed his first deer in. Was the first Prairie Grit hunt that ever took place.
We were sitting in the blind just waiting, and then all of a sudden I look up and a really nice buck came out of the bush.
And Wyatt looks at me and looks at Craig and said, "There's a huge buck out in front of us." And of course we peek around the corner and there's a really nice buck standing right out in front of him.
All we gotta do is just be patient.
Of course, Wyatt being Wyatt, made a perfect shot. We watched the deer run into the woods. At that point in time, he wanted to start calling people. He called Aaron, let him know, hey, I just shot one.
So it took quite a while for my dad and DJ to go get the deer out of all that mess of all the bush and all that. And once they came back, I was really excited.
Hopefully that's as exciting as this video gets. She'll be downhill slide into Belle Fourche.
Oh, I gotta get a video of you when we run out of gas.
Yeah, she's getting tight.
How many miles do you think we have to go, DJ?
12.
12 miles to go. About 13 miles worth of gas in there.
We just got to make it to the first intersection. I think we could coast it from here if we had to. Belle Fourche, South Dakota. Fuel and food. Glory be.
No gas.
I knew we had it.
We made it. Wasn't worried at all.
We made it.
Double down, throw some dice, take off now. Don't think twice, but hey, don't you want to play?
This was Prairie GRIT's second opportunity to go to Wyoming and hunt with Veterans Help Foundation down there. First year we just took Wyatt. He had got his buck and a doe down there. It was an awesome hunt. Drew got to go along this year. The conditions first morning were not favorable to hunting from a blind at all. We had wind gusts from 30 to 50 mile per hour. Next stop, hunting blind. She's a wee bit breezy out there, boys. Will knock you down. That's the high plains of Wyoming, though.
We finally made it out to the blind, and it was very windy, but we gave it a shot.
So the antelope hunt in Wyoming was a first for me as well, and I was really excited to go hang out with a veteran antelope hunter in Wyatt.
You see way out there on the hill to not this closest water tank. There's another water tank on out there.
I hunted an antelope for the first time last year, and I was very excited to be doing it again. There's a nice sized antelope out there. Pretty far to make a shot, but we'll wait for him to get closer.
It's working our way, Ben.
Yeah, he was walking the right way.
We'd been in the blind for about a half hour, and the wind was going crazy, and we were all feeling a little discouraged because we just didn't know what to expect with the conditions. Then we saw a lone buck antelope at probably 500 yards, just kind of meandering through a draw.
He's still facing towards us, walking towards us.
Walking right. He's got a ways to walk, dude.
I was right on him and said 400.
This buck slowly made his way within about 300 yards from us, and then he bedded down, and, well, we didn't see him for another 2 hours.
We waited a pretty long time, and then finally the buck started coming up. Perfect for if he pops up that hill. I want him to get closer. And he's walking this way.
That's a nice goat.
This buck gets so close that Wyatt has to kick me out of my filming window.
Can you get your gun through this other window?
Aaron's in the way.
You shoot him walking.
No. He's not walking.
He's looking right at us. Slow. Very slow.
Can I shoot him in the front?
57.
Can I shoot him in the front?
Shoot him right in the chest. He'll go down. Damn! Yeah!
So it started coming back slowly, then all of a sudden it started running closer and closer. Then I got the shot and I had to kick Aaron out of his spot, and then I shot him. Somewhere.
He let you get that close?
Yeah.
He got that close?
57 yards. He was facing straight on him.
Thank you, man. You're welcome.
Needless to say, we were all pretty darn excited, and so we got out to that antelope as soon as we can. There was a lot of pictures, a lot of celebration, and we were getting really excited to hear about what was going on with Drew's hunt.
The first morning of the hunt in Wyoming in the ground blind was very challenging. The wind was blowing very fast and very hard, so we had to change plans for the afternoon.
What we're going to do is get position, roll up, and I'm just going to, so like this, I'm going to turn the truck into the wind, a couple hundred yards out, and we're going to see what they do. If I can ease him up a little further, we will.
Pretty much perfect setup, but we're going to make it happen.
So we regrouped, we got in a pickup, and we started going and looking for antelope and trying to put ourselves in a better position.
See him good?
I got him in my scope, yep.
Okay, take the safety off. Remember, one tick into the wind.
Okay.
Get comfy. And then breathe on that trigger. Okay. See where you hit?
Yep.
Where'd you hit?
Behind me. We weren't in the truck long, and we came about a doe and a buck, and for whatever reason, I shot high on the buck and missed, but the hunt continues.
We came within an inch, I guess, of of killing a very, very nice buck, but I have high hopes that we're going to kill another one.
No. Low
We're going to get
hopes.
one.
You want to shoot lower.
Yes. Aim lower is the key.
Is that one bedded back there, a small buck?
Yes, that's what it looks like. But from what I've seen out here, it'd be a little tough to believe he's tending that many.
That's what
days.
I'm thinking. Yeah. After a very short time, we kind of found a couple different herds of antelope. Finally, we found one that had a very nice buck in it that Drew wanted. We wanted to take that antelope.
Little guy with a harem of 6, he's got the world by the tail. Well, you never know. Maybe there he comes. Is.
Our eyes are closed when we start this loop on repeat. Hear my chest, how it beats when you put your hands on me. Time goes fast, but yet so slow. I leave all thoughts, yeah, I let them go. 'Cause I'm here with you, and all I need is you.
When we all got together after I had shot the buck, it was one of the most amazing feelings in the world to be there with all of those guys and everybody that had kind of made that whole thing happen. Having everybody there at that moment really was one of the best feelings I've ever had, and made everything kind of worth it for me. And it was one of the best days of my life, for sure.
So after we had filled most of our deer tags, it was time, we had fall turkey tags. So it's time to start trying to fill some turkey tags. Chad and Palmer were able to come out and meet us up at Sandhills Dairy. They've got a lot of turkeys up there.
For this fall, I went on Lee Zimmerman's property, a dairy farm, and pretty much every single hunt saw over 200 animals, but they didn't get close enough on some hunts. And then the wind, and of course they need to feed the cows and work with them. And when that happens, if there were turkeys in front of us, they would just run away. But I understand.
We had multiple good hunts up there. It was a little bit cold, it was tough staying warm in the blind. And we saw a lot of turkeys. We had a lot of turkeys come within range, but getting the turkey that Palmer wanted, getting a nice gobbler to come in within range where it wasn't surrounded by other turkeys, where we were in danger of killing more than one bird, ended up being a challenge. We saw hundreds of turkeys over a few different hunts. We had turkeys in front of us that were the turkeys we wanted, but there was always another turkey standing in front of or behind the one that Palmer wanted to shoot. On one of the hunts, Palmer wanted to bring one of his friends along who'd never killed a turkey before. And so we're like, sure, the more the merrier. We love getting young people out for the turkey hunt.
The last day that we went hunting, I wasn't looking, it wasn't the right one for me, and I just couldn't get a shot off, but I let my friend shoot it instead.
Which one did it go? The second one now. It's the one in front right now. Nice job. You just shot a bearded man. Attaboy.
We had a lot of turkeys come through that day. Once again, we couldn't get the turkey that Palmer wanted to come through, but we ended up with a bearded hen coming out in front of the blind. So after a few hunts there in December, we just ended up going home and not able to fill that fall tag.
This spring, I'm hoping to get a really big one, but I've already got one 2 years ago, and that was a Jake, and I'm just hoping to get a bigger one. And I feel confident about that because when I went hunting this past time, there were giants.
Well, I found out about a year ago that I was going on a bear hunt, and I've always wanted to go on a bear hunt and shoot a bear with a bow. And so it's super exciting that I've been able to do that. The first day, had a lot of excited and nervous energy built up, and we got on some four-wheelers, drove into the brush. And we were able to make it to the blind, and we sat there and tried to be quiet for a couple hours to wait for some bears. And go back a little bit.
You just kind of got to get where you need to be. This is perfect right here, I think.
DJ was up in the stand and he saw a bear that was circling around us. but we never actually happened to see the bear because it was just too dense to see through it. And we unfortunately didn't have a bear come into the bait. So we went out for day 2, and it had rained, so it was a lot more muddier, and our stuff got absolutely destroyed with mud, so we had to do a lot of cleaning of that when we got to the blind. Sat there for quite a while with just Aaron and myself, and it was crazy. The birds were going crazy. We were super quiet and just sitting there trying not to talk to each other or speak or anything. And Aaron saw a bear coming right on us, and they're just so quiet you can't hear them coming in. It was a little sketchy. It started coming in to us, and then one of us made a sound. I think I made a sound when I was trying to move my crossbow up to kind of look at the bear, and he started backing up. So he was pretty sketched out from coming in, and so we got real quiet there, and he started eating, sat back down, laid down again, and did that multiple times. And then it finally gave us a perfect broadside shot. However, the beaver cage was sitting right above its vitals, so I wasn't able to take a shot at it. So we had to wait a little bit longer, and laid down again, and I was getting pretty nervous because I knew it was about to happen, and the bear stood up, quartering away, and aimed at that opposite shoulder, and shot the arrow, and it went through.
Shut up, bear. Waiting for them. Oh. I think I made a good shot. Dude, he wasn't giving me any shot for so long. Stood up just perfect, quartering away. The bushwhack, right? Is Eric's at one?
Yeah.
I rolled up to the bear. We found the bear, and it was a super relief to find that bear just only 20 yards away. This is freaking crazy, man.
I think we did it.
It only ran 20 yards, but we still couldn't see it because of how brush was in front of us, and we couldn't see anything. And rode up to the bear, and it was a super relief and big rush of emotions. It was super exciting.
Oh, that's a good boar.
Good enough?
You want a hug or you want just a handshake?
I'll give a hug, man. Thanks for making this happen.
Proud of you. Nice shot.
First night with Wyatt was Jeff and Wyatt and I sitting. We were probably there for an hour and a half, something like that, and we saw our first bear back in the brush. The first smaller bear came in, and it's a bear we would have taken if he would have given us a chance. He was there for quite a while. Jeff was trying to coach Wyatt through it, but the bear was laid down the entire time. Little bear is still laying there, and we're waiting. Another bear comes in from the left-hand side. I'm like, that's not the same bear, but that's a bigger bear. That's a shooter bear. In a few minutes he came in, actually gave Wyatt the shot that, that we wanted, that we've been waiting for. Wyatt made what we all believe was a great shot on that bear.
You just killed a bear. You just killed a beautiful boar. Dude, you hit perfect. Travis is gonna be so excited.
My heart is beating a million miles per hour right now.
Let's hug it up.
Okay.
Okay, Wyatt, what do you want to tell us?
I'm speechless.
That says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jeff and I tracked that animal for about 75 or 80 yards. We left a marker there because we were going to go out and recover Ben's bear, thinking we would come back the next morning and find it. Unfortunately, we got several inches of rain overnight, so there was no chance of finding a blood trail again.
Good to me.
What do you say we go find a black bear?
Wyatt,
Yeah,
what are we doing, man?
going to find my bear.
Are you excited?
Yeah,
You nervous?
yeah.
It was really hard sending Wyatt that text and letting him know that no, we're not going to bring that bear off the mountain. But to his credit, as soon as we got back to the pickup, we're like, we're going to go back out.
On the way there the next morning, I was riding with Ben, and I felt very confident that you guys were going to find them. We waited for quite a while, and I was starting to get a little nervous, and then it was pretty sad that they couldn't find it. Then we hurried back to the hotel, got all ready, and then I headed back out.
Jeff and I went and visited that bait site, and we could tell that bait site had been torn up that night. So we knew there were more bears in the area. So what do you do when something bad happens? You regroup, you retry, and you go make something good happen.
Well, it took a little while to get all set up, and DJ was up in the tree stand, and there was a bear that came in. It kind of just snuck up on us.
What happens a lot with these bears is they'll come in, they'll check out the bait, won't come in. They'll scent check it, sense it for danger, go out and circle around, and then they'll come in and make that second approach. He did exactly what the bear the previous night did, though. Is he came in and he laid down and he ate corn. And he ate corn. And he ate corn. Every time he would start to stand up, start recording video, he would lay back down and eat more corn. This went on and on for what seemed like eternity. It was probably only about 10 to 15 minutes, but it seemed like it took all night. Finally, he got up and decided to come to the other barrel that had some meat in it. And then it looked like he was going back to the corn. He went from left to right, came over, put his front legs up on a stump, and gave Wyatt the perfect shot.
Well, when we were waiting, I was really nervous because I wanted to make sure we could find mine this time. And it was kind of just a waiting game at that point.
I just shot a black bear. Again.
How are you feeling?
I don't really know.
He's a beautiful bear. 3 guys last week shot bear swallowed up. I tell you what, he never ran.
It was really awesome when I finally saw the bear when they were bringing it back, and I was really happy that we didn't have to go look for another bear.
It's a big bear. It may not be as big as Ben's, but
Doesn't matter, man.
I've always wanted to hunt a bear, and it's unbelievable that Prairie GRIT and Aaron and DJ and those guys put so much time in and went to banquets and raised a lot of money, and Jeff Jacobs put a ton of time in trying to figure out how to make it work for us in wheelchairs, because they've never had anyone in wheelchairs up here. And
I've never worked with physically challenged before, so it was a big eye-opener for me to what Prairie GRIT actually does for these kids, as far as, you know, getting them out of the vehicles, getting them into their chairs, getting them just ready to go on the hunt is a lot more than I ever realized.
It's really difficult to get wheelchairs up into the woods here. It's nearly impossible, but they were able to figure it out, put some blinds up. They put the blinds up during the crazy winter storm and had to dig out the snow just to get the blinds up.
Jeff approached me and said that we have an opportunity to bring these guys up here in the wheelchairs. So we said, yeah, we'd like to definitely do that. We put together a couple ground blinds and made it all happen for them.
These guys really appreciated everything we did, and I really thought it was great that they could come up, and especially we felt really privileged to be able to be the guides to be able to for them to be able to get their first bears.
T&T Outfitters definitely helped us a ton. Ledoux are the nicest guys I've ever met, and it's super welcoming, and it just seems like everyone's just a family here, so it's been awesome.
It means a lot that there is people still out there willing to take disabled people out hunting. I just want to say a big thank you, and I'm very glad that they took us out on this hunt.
My name is Haley Grader.
My name is Palmer Thompson.
My name is Ben Johnson.
My name is Drew Hansen.
My name is Wyatt Rollman.
And we are hunters.